What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Get Off My Lawn. It's a bi weekly call in show. Oh, wait, did I say the magic word? I said the magic word. Today, it's a call in show. It will be a call in show. You know what that means? You get to call in. Anyways, bi weekly show from the World Foam Alliance with myself and one Captain Xavier, where we talk everything foam flinging related. We are part of the World Foam Alliance. If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. As always, I mentioned we're a nonprofit. Why? Because we have no money. The more people we get subscribed, the more chances we have for monetization. We can actually make some money. The World Film Alliance website is still under construction. I know you've heard it all before, but I will remind you again. It's not because we don't have ideas or know how we're going to do it. It's because we need money to make it happen. The rest of everything we do is basically, well, we love doing this. We all have our skills and we enjoy doing it. And this is the vision, trying to reunite nerfers and foam flingers from your local towns, your local counties, local states to around the world, man. The whole point is a centralized location where we can find each other and let each other know about the cool things we all do. So therefore, we can all participate in the many things that happens in our community and hobby. Other than that, last week we may have been cut a little short. We ended up filming the session, but we got cut short because of I don't know whatever it is. I don't even want to talk about it just in case it happens again. Point is, we're happy to be back. We will make sure not to do things that may lead to that again. But you know what? That was last week. We're living in the now and we're doing it. So again, today we have no guest. Today it's myself and one Captain Xavier, and it's going to be a call-in show. And what does that mean? That means you get to call in, ask questions. And as always, when you call in, we'll give you about 3 minutes. I think it's 3 minutes. It's been a while. I can't remember. Whatever it is, feel free to make a comment, ask a question. And then I don't care if you're mid-sentence or you haven't completed your thought. It will be cut short. You will be off, and the next one is up. Unless we really like you and think maybe this is important, then we'll extend it. But you know what? Don't bank on it. Now, with that, as I said, I am Al the Geek, but I'm not by myself. We also have one Captain Xavier with me. Cap. Oh, wait, dude. You know.
What do you want?
What? There we go. He's awake. I should have worn mine. I have one.
Yeah, you should have.
I should have.
Pretend like I'm awake, even though I'm not. Yes, I'm here. I'm going to neither. We already got people in the chat. I'm going to neither APOC nor BPOC because it's on the other side of the country, and I have exhausted my travel budget. We will talk about how I exhausted my travel budget. And yes, this is a call-in show. You'll be able to call in. We'll be able to chat about stuff. We are going to do our best to behave and not get taken down. But you never know. Couldn't have been too bad. They let us do it again. So eventually we're just going to have to, we'll just be in, full white overalls, coveralls in a white room. Nothing that could offend or something. I don't know.
But we will still find a way. That is for sure.
We'll find a way. And we'll probably still find a way to get taken down.
Yes.
Who knows?
Oh, which reminds me, we should get right into it. So you were traveling, was it last weekend?
No.
2 weekends ago.
Yes.
And where'd you go? And you should tell people where you went because I'm sure they would love to hear about it.
I went to Tennessee. First time I've ever been to Tennessee. I got a random email from some fellow in Tennessee by the name of Devin wanting to know if I wanted to come to his brand new Nerf arena. He and his wife had opened a Nerf arena like 6 weeks ago in Knoxville, of all places. And they were doing stuff. They had somehow made contact with the local hobby side community, the NIC community, and had hosted an event where they let them show up and use their own blasters. Because normally you go and they've got a whole wall of stock blasters, and you go in and use stock blasters, and that's all well and good. But they did an event called Blitzfire where they let the hobby folk in with their super fancy blasters. And originally they allowed 150. Their arena is not big enough for 150, so they dropped it down a little bit. But they sent this email out to every Nerf tuber, every influencer in the hobby, and a few people got back to them and said, sorry, I couldn't make it. And I was the only person that went, I've never been to Tennessee, let's go. But I was only able to make it possible thanks to Talanax, because he is in Nashville. and there are no good flights from Seattle to Knoxville. So I was starting to looking at how much the flights are going to be, how much time it was going to take, having to get a hotel and maybe a car and all of that, and that would have made it not worth it, basically. But I randomly emailed Talanax and went, "Hey, can I crash on your couch?" Because it turned out he was planning to go to the event also. So he's already going to be making the trip. So I was going to see, hey, can I fly into Nashville? Because there's much better flights into Nashville and carpool with you. Turns out he has a guest room. I got deluxe accommodations. It was fabulous. And we went, and it was fabulous. He also enabled all of my other side quest hobbies. So we went to 2 Lego stores and a third-party Lego store. We went to a liquor store called Frugal McDougal that had a root beer that I didn't have. We went to a brewery looking for root beer, and I got snubbed. We went to a Rocket Fizz in Knoxville and found 2 more root beers. So I came back with 3 root beers, 2 more Lego stamps, and a day of nerfing. And it was a lot of fun. It was worth it. I'm glad I got to go. A lot of good folk, a lot of good nerfing. Have some thoughts on things they could do to improve their setup, but I have no idea if they would even be logistically possible. At some point, I'll get around to writing it up and sending it on over, just to give them my thoughts. But if you have the opportunity, if you're in our hobby and you're anywhere near Knoxville and they're having a Blitzfire night, go to it. It's definitely worth it. They're good folk and they could use the help. So, yeah, I'm hoping to do more of that kind of travel. Because I've been to Maryland Mayhem 3 or 4 times now. I've been to RAG a couple of times. I've been to, all these big events. I like going to the little events and helping them grow. Us going to the UMBC HVZ is partially what helped Maryland Mayhem become a thing. And Mall Madness is as big as it is, apparently, because I showed up and their numbers doubled. So I like being able to use my influence to actually improve events like that. So there's a few. I've been to GCC a couple of times. RIT keeps inviting me. I need to get up to there because I need to put them higher on the list. Goucher is apparently having an anniversary HVZ, and I would love to go to that just to go to the home of HVZ. But apparently it's in October, and there's a lot going on in October, so we'll see if I'm able to pull that off. Train. And we're working on starting our own big event up here, finally. More on that someday.
I love the fact that while you were down in Tennessee, which is great, and I think that's also, it's a great perspective for those that want to travel but then are trying to justify cost and time to go. And for yourself, it's worked out well because you've taken obviously the main reason you're going, but at the same time have been able to find your side quest, the side things that you like doing, which suddenly then helps, I guess, alleviate guilt or helps justify the expenditure for it. Whereas like other events, and like, I get if you want to go and that's all you want to do, it's great, but it's okay to plan other events. Like for you, it's Lego and root beer, and this has turned into like a whole weekend, which is like, well, yeah, for the win, this is why you go to it. And so I think that's a great way of looking at this, especially for those that don't make it out to other events but are wondering if it's worth it. Expand it, and suddenly it changes the whole perspective.
Yeah, I'm next month. Sergeant Deplorable and I are going to Z13 in Detroit, and we're doing the same things. We're actually flying into Cleveland because there's more Lego stores in Cleveland than in Detroit, and driving to Detroit, hitting the Lego stores and soda shops up there, and we're actually going to go into Canada and smuggle some root beer out. Apparently Hixie's planning to meet us as well. Need to work out the details on that. I may
as well.
Yeah.
Because at that point, I think I can travel finally.
Yeah. But again, the Z13 is a short event. It's like in the morning before the laser tag arena opens. And flying halfway across the continent for a 4-hour event, I just couldn't justify that. But throw in 3 Lego stores and a bunch of soda shops and a trip to Canada, okay. We're also planning to see a train museum because Sergeant Deplorable is big into trains, and they've got one of the big roundhouses where they would actually rotate the whole train. And there is a star
train
fort.
guy, those are great.
Yeah, there's a star fort on the river that we want to go see. So yeah, we're making a whole trip out of it, which is why I like the hobbies that I've chosen, because they allow for that kind of stuff. Root beer is strangely regional, and Lego is everywhere. So there's always things I can look into.
Absolutely, this makes total sense. Like for me, well, I'll go because I get to see you guys, and I'm good for all those things. Well, like for example, for me, like you throw in like an aviation museum or anything like that, suddenly like, yep, I'm in. I'm very much in. So it's kind of like finding those things. Well, actually, which reminds me, and we didn't talk about it, but it's become official, and it's funny. The admin staff always laughs, especially Just Ben. Tells the rest of the admins from Maryland Foam Alliance, how is it Al is always the first one that has a shirt that announces when the next mayhem is going to be? So for those paying attention, by the way, that shirt is ordered. I think it'll be here. It might be here tomorrow. No, I think it's next week. But yeah, for all those doubters that were wondering, because of the change in venue, because of policies that have been introduced on the campus, Maryland Mayhem is on the books. It is booked. It is happening next year, and it is on like Donkey Kong. So yeah, for those that doubted, I had no doubt because I know the admins and I know their versatility and their reliability. And you know what, man, they're like Swiss Army knives. They can get that. They get it done. And sure enough, Maryland Mayhem back on the books for next year. It is May 29th, something like that. But yeah, Maryland Mayhem, end of May next year, back on the books. And there is an HVZ, and it's going to be fun and great. And it's also going to be interesting because obviously there's no longer the campus involved. So we can see what they pull together, and it'll be like a refreshing twist on an already successful event. In the meantime, someone is opening a box.
Nothing to see here.
He's not going to show us. Yeah, nothing to see here. Especially nothing in the box, and no words that start with the letter G or look like that or anything else like that. What do we got in the box? You want to tell me what you got in the box, man? Is it tactical paper?
They've got the tank that they did for Mark Rober as a sticker now.
Oh, how cool is that? Out of Darts always does a great job, especially in the last few years, mixing it up and sending you new stickers.
Yeah. I wonder if there's more in here. Oh, yep. I opened the box upside down. There was a box. There was a box in the box.
Look at that! It's a box of boxes. Well, the good news about whatever he's got in the box, there will be a video when he has the box compared to other things that are no longer in the box.
Yeah. I did a video, I think it come out yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And this was acquired for the follow-up video.
I guess you tell him what it is, or you don't have to. It's up to you.
It's a BK1S. But it's the new one, the trans orange one, the one that's in my colors. At least I hope it is. We're about to find out. You don't get to see it. It'll get us shut down. We're only 5 minutes into this.
Yeah, I know. That's why we're not even going to use the word that starts the letter G, because I don't trust any of it right now. Because I have no idea. But anyways, yes, that's happening. He's got that, which is great.
That is pretty.
Oh, the other thing is, and I'm sure many people do. So far for the win?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing.
Does it come with a battery? I don't know if it comes with a battery.
It might be hidden, but then again, maybe not. But on a related subject, obviously, and I'm sure many of you already have one, or are in the process of getting one, or have seen videos of it with the new X-Shot PP that's come out.
Yeah.
I got one. I know Cap has one. He's already released a video on it. It's so far so good in terms of what it can do, and especially at only the price point. Thank you, X-Shot. It's when they do stuff like this, it's amazing. Just because I think it is unlike the. Well, here we go. Now we're going to a little bit of a thing.
And I need to hunt down.
So the obviously, oh, there you go. So obviously, when you have to explain what we do, it's a Nerf hobby. Why? Because it all started with Nerf being the the parent company or the original one where we all started on this adventure that is our hobby and our niche. But it's nice that even though Nerf pretends we don't exist and don't make anything that we like because we always had to take it and make it better, companies like Dart's own X-Shot, Push the Boundaries, Worker, where it's like, fine, you want the mass media to sell to little kids and only them, we'll do other things. And the fact that they do stuff like this. But then obviously for the longest time, we've always all wanted the AEB to happen. But then after talking with different people, the difficulty was to be able to create one and put it at a price point which made it affordable. And the fact that no one thought they were able to get it down under 100 or never mind, like 120, 150. And here we go. X-Shot just comes up and says, boom,
boom,
$70.
Yeah, I mean, like 10 years ago, the Stampede was $60. And this is infinitely better than the Stampede in every really possible metric, and is only a little bit more, and can be easily modified. That's the thing that baffled me, is that they added all of the customization features: easily removable spring, buffer tube stock, easily removed barrels, all of that. The fact that it fires on a closed bolt rather than an open bolt. Open bolt is much easier to design. Closed bolt is much more complicated, but they did it anyway. The fact that it has select fire. I don't think does the BK1S have select fire? I don't remember. I know the 77 does. The 76 didn't. 76, I also think, operates on an open bolt. So, whereas the 77 is on a closed bolt. So, yeah, lots of just little details. The fact that they didn't make it out of the cheap plastic that they made the Fury and the long shot out of. I mean, those felt like if you dropped it, it would shatter. It wouldn't, but it just felt like it. Whereas this is very much solid. And yeah, as you said, the reason we don't have any hobby grade AEBs, I think there was one person made a back end that would turn a long shot into an AEB. But they're much more complicated. There's a reason that most of the companies went away from AEBs and went to flywheelers as the full auto option, is because it's just much, much simpler mechanically. It doesn't have to deal with nearly as much torque and issues and timings, and you have to have gears which need to be very precise and need to be strong, and all of that kind of stuff is very difficult to design. From the hobby side of things, whereas mounting motors is simple. So the big hope, of course, is that now that X-Shot has done it, we'll see Worker do it, and we'll see Dart Zone do it, and maybe even Hasbro will try it again. Because there were plenty of companies that were now doing them. You had the Colonel Wasp 76 and 77. You had the Inverted Scales, Sweetheart Storm, the BK1S, the BK2S. But they were all expensive, and they weren't available at Walmart or Target, whereas the piston pump is.
But then again, on the same vein, when you think about it, like it's X-Shot's now almost becoming that company where it's like, so you say we can't do it for this price point, watch this. And the example I use is the X-Shot. Yes, it felt fragile. Yes, there are challenges and issues with it, but it's 150 FPS blaster at $30. At that point, you're like, you know what? I'm now a gambling man, and I will do it.
Yeah, and for another $30, you can get it to 260. And the same thing with the piston pump. Apparently all you have to do is swap the main spring for a Nexus spring, for a stock Nexus spring, and it will now hit clear over 200, which is impressive. I haven't done a lot of tinkering with mine, because the things that people are asking is, if you weaken the spring, will it increase the darts per second? And I kind of don't think it will. I mean, like with a Stampede, it obviously would, but the Stampede didn't have select fire. I'm wondering if the select fire means that the rate of fire is computer controlled and isn't being limited by the weight of the spring. It's being limited by the onboard controller. But I won't know until I try a different spring in it. So I do plan to. Apparently, Out of Darts is planning to carry all manner of upgrades and downgrades and slightly to the left grades, and have offered to send me all of it. And I want to see all of it, because I want a barrel shroud. I want, what kind of different stocks they come up with, a carry handle, or, different mag releases and all of that jazz. So, X-Shot, they've been the cheap option for a long time, but they've always still been pretty good. It just felt kind of cheap. It wasn't like Busby where it felt cheap and had poor performance, like the old Busby stuff. It felt cheap but still performed well. Because, the X-Shot long shot felt cheap, but it was a Lynx, and so it works. They looked at how the hobby designed stuff and just built that. And that's also what Dart Zone's been doing. Things like the Mark IV is just a Caliburn. Internally.
Well, some will argue it's a Swift, but whatever, same idea.
Well, yeah, but the Swift is a Caliburn, so
exactly. For those at home thinking, but no, they're all the same.
Yeah, and that's they're not like interchangeable. Well, some of the parts are interchangeable actually, but we did the R&D for years on how to make the most efficient blaster and what worked and what didn't work and what's a good plunger volume and what's the right barrel material, and rather than reinventing the wheel, these companies are going, oh, okay, well, we'll just do that. And it's neat. And X-Shot, again, keeping it cheap but functional. Now, what's the long-term longevity? I don't know. I haven't put a few thousand darts through mine, though I've heard from people who have put a few thousand darts that they're holding up great. So
wow.
One thing that one thing you have to be leery of is that because it operates on a closed bolt, you have to deprime the blaster when you're done using it, or it will be primed because its resting position is primed. You have to actively deprime it when you're done with it. And if you don't, you're going to, the spring's going to remain compressed and you're going to wear out your spring, which somebody pointed out might be why they made sure it had a quick swap spring. So if the spring wears out, you can replace it.
I do like that it beeps at you if you leave it primed.
Yeah. And then all you got to do is hold the trigger down and it deprimes for a couple of seconds.
Yep. That first day I was wondering why it was beeping at me. I'm like, what do you want, man? What? I've sorted it out since.
Yeah. But again, the fact that they added that feature to remind you, hey, I'm still turned on and primed, do something about it. That's just good design. They didn't need to do that, but they did, and they still kept the price down, which is fascinating. Somebody said that supposedly the folks that designed the BK1Ls helped design the X-Shot piston pump, which isn't surprising. The BK1S is apparently built by the best folk, the T238 folk. And unless I'm much mistaken, their bread and butter is airsoft. And most airsoft has been AEBs for decades.
Yep.
They were doing it long before Hasbro did it with the Stampede. It was just a matter of scaling it up. Which is why I was kind of surprised that when Game Face got into it and they made the Game Face Prime, which is a solid blaster, but I'm kind of surprised they never went the AEB route because they were also an airsoft company first. Just take that and scale it up. Maybe make it bigger. Bigger plunger tube, bigger barrel.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Of the two, in terms of financial investment, the Springer may have been a cheaper investment and easier to maintain and do. So that's why they led with that one. And it would have been great, except for the problems that it had. And who knows? The AEB might have been the second option, or the pistol was. But after the first one, because of the problems they had, they never made enough money, and they never got to that door.
There were some issues with the Game Face Prime, and then obviously their pistol, whatever it was just apparently horrible. I never even got one.
I do. It's a paperweight, man. Actually, now I painted it up, and now it's a Nate's cosplay prop.
Well, there you are then.
But still, my God.
And they may have just decided, okay, no, this isn't worth it. We're not going to be able to break into this market. And the thing is if they'd come out with a good AEB, they might have been able to.
Oh yeah,
it's
absolutely. But it's and the thing is what happens, I guess. Well, for example, no one did performance blasters. And then suddenly Dart Zone came out with the Nexus Pro. When the Nexus Pro came out and that sold like crazy, that's when everyone said, you know what,
Yeah.
screw this. If they did this, we can do this. So now odds are with the AEB coming out, and again, because of the fact that most of them are probably sitting there because of cost effectiveness, it's like, all right, do we want to make a blaster that we got to sell for 150, 170 bucks? And then it comes down to, especially since they're larger companies, you got to sell X amount to therefore make it worth it. And X amount is not to the hobbyist. It's to like major, like Walmart, like Target, like Toys R Us, that like X Shot, Dart Zone, and Hasbro sells to. So now that they have kind of broken that barrier, and you know that they already have them, much like each companies have all the blasters we've made or 3D printed in their own R&D. You know, first day they already have the X Shot AEB, are taking it apart and trying to figure out, obviously by not violating any
Trademark, patents
trademark,
and whatnot.
but figure out, all right, this is what they do. How can we make it also so the price point's lower or make it different enough to justify the cost? But I think so far, we're going to see more, because right now it seems like it is catching fire and a big hit. So, which is exciting for us.
Yeah, it's interesting that X Shot has done that Zuru has done that, because again, they started out as the super cheap blasters, and then they just kept improving their quality a little but at a time. You know, they came out with the Insanity line, which are all fabulous fun blasters, and then they came out with their Pro line, which were excellent blasters, and it worked. You know, and yeah, and again, their stuff's on shelves at Walmart and Target.
Yep.
Worker blasters are great, but they're more expensive, and you can't get them at Walmart. Same thing with things like, the BK1S and the Colonel 70, the Colonel WAS 77. They're great, but they're more expensive, and they're not available at your local box store. But it's neat to see, and yeah, I think there will be more. Somebody actually emailed me earlier today, and their question was, how do I think this is gonna change the game? How is this blaster gonna change the game and change the meta and change everything? And I don't think it's gonna change anything, honestly, because it doesn't do anything that other blasters can't already do. It just does it well and does it cheap. So it's a good blaster, but it doesn't shoot faster than other blasters. It doesn't shoot farther or more accurate. It doesn't hold more ammo. It doesn't fire a different ammo type. So there's nothing that actually changes the game. The only thing that's going to change is we're going to see a lot of them, because they're really cool and they're really fun. But they're not going to outshoot other blasters. They're not going to out-hit other blasters. They're not going to outrange other blasters. So I don't think they're going to break anything. We're just going to see more of them, and it's going to change the sound. There's going to be that ka-chunk, ka-chunk instead of the whining of flywheels. And I like that. And not every blaster needs to be game-changing. I remember when the Rival hit the market, and, the Nemesis, and I was like, well, this is going to change everything. And no, it didn't. People barely even run Rival at most of the events I go to anymore. It doesn't have long enough range to compete with the half darts. Indoors, it's a different story, because range doesn't matter anymore, and having infinite ammo is a big difference. But it's still not as accurate. I went to Tennessee, and I brought a proton pack, and I hosed about the field with it, and I got sniped every time. I never swept the field. It just wasn't accurate enough. And it was a big, loud target. There was no hiding. It was, he's over here. No. Wait till he comes around the cover and shoot him in the head. I spent most of the event, my proton pack wasn't working right. It would get a couple of darts out, and then it would seize up. And it wasn't until like the second to the last game, and I took it all the way apart and put it all the way back in, and I did the last step when putting it back in, and realized I had not done that step earlier in the day, which is to ensure that the snorkel is outside of the blaster, so that it can actually pull air in to pressurize the tank. And so it wasn't, which meant that there was almost certainly sucking the backpack up against the snorkel and not getting any airflow. And sure enough, fixed the snorkel, went in, not a flaw for the rest of the day, for the last 2 rounds, for all the good it did me.
Well, better late than never.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, it's a good thing. I would have run out of ammo much, much sooner. I went through 5 gallons of Talon Axe's Rival ammo, which he then donated to the event, because they
Of
didn't
course they
have
did.
any rival. Yeah, he's a better man than I. They had a raffle, a door prize raffle, and I won it.
And you kept it.
And I kept it because I'm a shameless fan of free stuff. So I got 2 barrels, one that's a short one and a long barrel. I got 2 straight Talon mags and 2 boxes of worker darts, which I then gave to Talonx because I used his ammo at the event. So I didn't keep all of it for myself, but I kept the barrels. And hilariously, the longer barrel on the X shot gets it down to 140. Putting the longer barrel on reduces it to 140.
Wow. Did you try the shorter
shorter barrel, which is a little bit longer than the stock barrel on the piston pump, increases it by about 5.
Okay.
Stock out of the box, it's hitting about 160, which is just over the limit for Borst. But that long barrel gets it to that 140, which is just under the limit for Borst. And then apparently if you put a solo barrel on it, which is just, as short as it can possibly be, it'll hit 120.
HVZ, away we go.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's without messing with the spring. Messing with the spring, obviously, you could get the numbers to wherever you want them to go.
But you see, that's also, again, where clearly the R&D was wading into the hobby. Why? Just because of the collar piece to remove that barrel and add a new one on. That is not from anyone else or everywhere else. That is straight up taken straight out of the hobby for that.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, if they hadn't, we'd have done it 30 seconds after they released it, and they just saved us the trouble. The other thing is, and that's probably why it doesn't have any kind of a barrel shroud, because it would make it more difficult to be able to take that off. Did we then make barrel shrouds for it? Of course we did. Because no matter what configuration they put this on, somebody would want it different. Because some people want a super stubby barrel with no shroud. Other people want the shroud. Some people want a stock. Some people don't want a stock. And so there's no way to please everyone. And so
someone wants a shroud with a skeleton key.
Yeah, some people want rail on the side. Somebody want rails on. I want rail on the bottom. I want rail on the side of this blaster and a barrel shroud with rail on the bottom, so I can mount my Jupiter to this.
Yep.
But all that I'm going to have to custom do because it doesn't come with rail on the side and it doesn't come with a barrel shroud with rail on the bottom.
But will.
Yeah, there's already barrel shrouds with the rail. That's not the problem.
You know what I wanted to touch upon? When back to the question that you got earlier in the day, if the AEB is a game changer. Now, I won't say a game changer because you're correct. Odds are not. However, at the same time, pending, I guess, on the evolution in terms of how fast, how efficient the AEB does that not necessarily revolutionize, but does it affect then the flywheel market? Where companies then still want to make a flywheeler, or will it be kind of like, why are we doing that? Do we do the AEB? So I guess, what do you think the impact is going to be on flywheel blasters, at least for the larger companies, not in the hobby, like Worker, Dart Zone, or X-Shot?
Well, as you said, it depends. The big advantage of the flywheel blasters is you can have a really high rate of fire, and it's really easy to do burst. Being like 3-round burst, semi-auto that. Whereas I don't think there's an AEB that has 3-round burst. I think there's semi and full are the two. If they have select fire, it's semi or full. I don't know how difficult it would be to make it do burst. I don't think it would be difficult, but getting that obscene rate of fire where you're looking at 30 darts a second, short of something like the Moab, you're just not going to be able to get a flywheeler that can do that reliably in a small package. Whereas you can get 30 darts a second out of the Pew Pew. You're never going to get the performance of a Pew Pew out of an AEB anywhere near that small. So that's true, one thing. Flywheelers do have the ability to be a lot more compact. They are also, as I mentioned, mechanically much, much simpler, which makes maintenance a lot cheaper. It makes material costs a lot cheaper. They're also more customizable, but it depends on, as you said, how far the AEB market goes. I mean, are they able to make it, have 3-round burst? Can we get a much higher rate of fire and maintain the power? Because that's one of the other limitations, is if you wanted to get it to have a stupid rate of fire, you're probably going to need to run a fairly large battery and a brushless motor, which I think is what airsoft blasters use nowadays anyway, where you can get that just literal stream. But they don't have to prime nearly as heavy as spring because BBs are so much lighter than darts. So there's a lot of limitations, but a lot of things that they could still do, but most of those things are going to drive the cost up. Because if you're running something that's got a 3S, 4S battery running a brushless motor, that's not going to be $80 anymore.
True. So you're right from that perspective. Yeah, unless the AEB really, there's for some reason cost stays down and it rivals like airsoft capability, it should not have that much of effect on the companies making flywheelers.
Yeah. But we will see. See what's got going on.
I know. It's the other thing, again, back to like the adventures. I know it's a call-in show. We'll be putting the phone number up soon. Just sometimes we go on tangents where it makes sense. But the other thing I'm really looking forward to, and again, it comes to like listening to the hobby and everything else, is like the belt-fed LMGs that are coming out.
Yeah. So, which company recently came out with one? Was it Adventure Force?
Adventure Force? I think it's Adventure Force. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody just came out with one. And obviously you've got the Heath Pants one.
Which is the hobby, but I mean, the fact that major manufacturers are coming out with it, that's what's exciting.
Yeah. And, belt-fed blasters aren't new. They go back to 94 at least, when the early Hasbro belt-fed blasters came out. And then you had the Vulcan was an AEB belt-fed. Whereas the ones we're seeing nowadays are all flywheel, because again, flywheel is much simpler. It's easier to do the timing. It's less stress on the system. The Dark Zone Boxer. Yeah, the Boxer Pro is apparently the Boxer or the Brute. One of them is already available in Canada.
The Brute, it's available in Canada, but the Boxer, because again, I think the FPS on this, aren't they're saying it's gonna be like 130? Also, like, again, even though these belt feds have been done by other companies, again, it's like the Nerf standard where it's like, yay, it fires. Just please stand 10 feet in front of me so I can hit you with it.
Yeah, and if they're going for 130, okay, you're that's close to, some HVZs are 130, some are 120. It depends on the event, but that's a good number. And that's, I mean, obviously we're just, we're going to throw heavier motors in it and a bigger battery and crank that up. That's the other nice thing about flywheels over AEBs, is in general, they are easier to upgrade or downgrade. Now, obviously, with like the X-Shot piston pump, they made it fairly easy to upgrade. The swappable spring, the swappable barrel, that changes a lot of things that allow that level of customizability. And we have that for springers. And the other thing is you can do that. That's the other nice thing about flywheel blasters, is you can put a PWM in, or if it's brushless, you can change the FPS, by fractions if you want. And getting an AEB that's that customizable, that would be very difficult. But again, not impossible. But would make it a lot more complicated.
Yes.
You know what? Somebody is probably already designing it as we speak, but the adjustable cap on the spring in this.
Oh, that's right. Wait, explain to people watching at home that don't know about this yet.
A number of people have designed it. It was one thing that I thought of way back in the day. I just couldn't be bothered. One of the ways you can increase or decrease the power of a springer is by pre-compressing the spring. You put spacers in or, something like that, and you can increase or decrease the power of the spring. Well, people finally realized it wouldn't be that difficult to have a bolt on the back of the plunger tube that allowed you to increase or decrease the pre-compression on the spring on the fly. There's nothing preventing you from doing that on this and making it so that you can adjust the FPS up and down a little bit.
Yep.
Without having to swap the spring. Just pull the stock off, twist it, put it back in. So I'm sure somebody's already developing that because it's just so very, very simple. Downside of some of that is the big concern for event coordinators is that somebody's going to show up to chrono with it tuned down, and then when no one's looking, dial it back up. But there's nothing preventing people from doing that anyway. If people really want to be that scummy at an event, they'll find a way to be that scummy at an event. And if you catch them, you throw them out.
But you can do the same thing with the FTLs.
You could do it with the FTL. I mean, you could also, they hand you the zip tie. You could go zip tie a different blaster altogether.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to know until somebody, gets hit really hard and they go, hey, that's hitting hard. And a mod goes and makes you chrono it. And it's hitting 200 and the FPS cap is 120. You can go.
Not before I shoot you in the face with the 200 FPS, so you learn your lessons. What? Did I say that out loud? All right. We promised a call-in show. You think we should put up a phone number and actually talk to people?
The time has come. I have forgotten the number. 717-722-5999. If you would like to call in and get grumped at by a couple of old men. Some people are into some weird stuff, man. I don't judge. Actually, I do judge. I will judge. That is why I'm here.
You will be judged. You masochists, call in.
And you shall be found wanting.
And you shall be found wanting. Oh, by the way, quick update. My hip surgery is now, 5 weeks out? I'm recovering very well. No meds, man. No cane, no nothing. I am kind of back at work partially. And obviously, I'm sitting in my usual chair and setup, and so far it is cooperating with me. So yeah, I've been very lucky. I've been very happy. I still can't do long road trips, but another few weeks. I think it's about a week and a half. I go back to the doc just to make sure. I think back to full work maybe in about 3 weeks, and then driving at some time. But anyways, enough about me.
Apparently, we have a caller. Let him in.
Never mind.
They're gone.
They got afraid that we were going to
scared him
off,
them. And we didn't even have to yell at him.
Maybe the payphone hung up on him. If you can find a payphone and call us from a payphone and show us a picture of it, I'll give you a blaster.
He'll do it too.
Yeah, if you can do something like that, I'll give you something. I'm sure we have some people that go, "What's a payphone?"
I need to figure out where my motorized cart went. It has wandered off.
Did it run away, man? Did you turn around and let it go?
No, I think I lent it to somebody.
Do you want to tell people about your adventure home? Driving home from... I
nearly died trying to get home from Tennessee.
Man.
So when I travel, I usually fly out of SeaTac because it's the easiest. PDX is actually closer, but SeaTac has better flights. And I have friends that live like 20 minutes from SeaTac. No, the story will have to wait.
We can tell it. We'll tell it in between calls.
Yeah.
Next chapter will be followed later.
Who are you? What do you want?
Wait. I exist. Wait. What did you call me?
Hello?
Oh, I'm not on the show. Okay.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you are. Oh, give him a fresh 3 minutes. Who is this, man? Come on, dude.
I think we should take 20 seconds off for that.
First, not.
Hello?
Yeah. Ow.
Have they got their phone muted and are just trying to get through the lag on the show? Man down.
If you can, try not calling from like a tunnel or
Yeah, maybe don't call
like
from
a
a
cellar.
payphone.
Maybe don't call from a payphone or a hot air balloon. Anyways, part 2 of your story, chapter 2.
Right, so part 2. So I usually stay with friends up in the Seattle area. I'll drive in the night before my flight, crash on their couch. They'll throw me out at the airport and pick me up when I get back. It saves parking and all of that. And it just so happened that the weekend that I was going to Tennessee, they were planning to go to the Northwest Ren Fair. I think it's the Northwest Ren Fair, Midsummer Ren Fair, some Ren Fair. And they do the Ren Fair proper. They've got so much stuff at this point that they need a large vehicle or a vehicle with a trailer to get all their stuff. So they borrowed my car and my trailer. I've got a big old trailer that I used when I moved. It's not the trailer I used for Nerf Wars. That's now a much smaller trailer. So I brought my car, my trailer up, left it with them. They dropped me off at the airport. I went to my event. I came back. They had just gotten back from Ren Fair. They got everything unloaded. I picked up my car and I left. And it was making a funny noise. There was a squeak that it didn't usually make, and it didn't quite feel right. And I'd just gotten back from Tennessee, so I'm like, I don't want to deal with this. But I also knew that they had just driven it all the way from Ren Fair, fully loaded. So, and I checked the hitch. The hitch was properly locked down and even had a padlock on it. So the hitch was good, or so I thought. And I was like, did the back hatch fall down? Because that's it sounded like a weird dragging noise. And so I got about a block from their place, pulled over because I thought I'd forgotten the keys for the trailer. Turns out I hadn't. Got out, checked everything. Checked the back hatch. It was locked. Checked the side door. It was locked. There's a truck dolly on the inside, but it was secured. Couldn't figure it out. Like, checked the hitch again. Hitch looked fine. Got back in my car. Headed down the street. Got about 10 miles down the road. I'm going 60 miles an hour down I-1 or 512 on a big, long turn. And the trailer comes off. Just detaches. And I felt it go.
Pause for a second. Say that one more time. How fast were you going?
I was going 60 miles an hour down the freeway with a 10-foot by 5-foot by 6-foot trailer. Taking a sharp turn, or not a sharp turn, but it was a 90-degree turn on the freeway. It was obviously a very wide turn because it's on the freeway. But it's still a turn. There's a semi-truck not far behind me, and the trailer pops off the hitch. And there was just that moment of, oh, this is how I die. Okay. Okay. And like, I have no idea what's going to happen. I knew the chains were hooked up, but if the trailer had flipped and dragged my car into the oncoming semi-truck, or rolled me, or Lord knows what else, because it's an empty trailer, so it's not gonna be well balanced, and it's a tall trailer, and I'm turning. So all kinds of bad things could have happened, and but they didn't. And I wish I had taken a picture of this, because I was there and I don't believe it. I hit the brakes like you do, or started slowing down, and I felt the trailer hit the back of my car, and I'm like, well, Lord knows what's going on back there now. And where I was on the freeway, there was an on-ramp coming on. So there was that long triangle section of flat road where the on-ramp, merges. And I was able to simply gently drift into that and come to a complete halt with the trailer following me as if it was still attached. And when I came to a complete stop, the semi-truck went by me, no problem. Get out of my car, go to see what happened. And the jack on the tongue of the trailer that you use to raise and lower the trailer to kick it on the hitch was the exact right height to perfectly lodge under my back bumper and jam it in such a way that I could then just steer the trailer with it basically attached. If that hitch had been a half-inch higher or a half-inch lower, it wouldn't have lodged the way it did. If I had hit the brakes a fraction of a second sooner or a fraction of a second later, it would have hit the back of the bumper instead of jamming underneath the bumper. If any of 1,000 things had gone differently, there's no telling what would have happened. But I was able to simply pull on over, come to a complete stop, and then I'm looking at going, okay, how am I going to get this unjammed? Because it was jammed under the hitch. I'm like, I'm going to have to jack up the back of the car and pull the trailer back enough so that I can unhook it. And then I reached in and I'm like, I think I can just pull forward. So I got back in the car and I pulled 6 inches forward. And sure enough, it just came right off the jack. I was able to then jack the trailer back up, put it back on the hitch, and drive home. Now, I, of course, took the next exit and checked, double-checked, and triple-checked. Because, like, how did that happen? Because it was latched. The trailer, the latch was on. So like, well, the latch must have failed, right? You know, it got old, it got rusted, it broke or something. So I checked it. No, it felt perfectly fine. When I put it onto the trailer and latched it, it seemed to latch. I tried using the jack to then lift see if I could force the trailer off the hitch, and all I did was pick up the back end of my car. I got in the trailer and jumped on the back of it to try to rock it loose. Didn't come loose. I went over some speed bumps. I went up and down a hill. Nothing. It was solid. Drove all the way home. Not a problem. So sure enough, when over the course of the weekend, my friends who had borrowed the trailer had unhooked the trailer when they were at the Ren Fair to go for a supply run, and apparently had just not quite hooked it back up correctly. But they were able to hook it up incorrectly in such a way that, one, it looked like it was properly connected, and they were able to get all the way back from Ren Fair with a full trailer without it popping loose, probably because of all the weight that was holding it on. And then it just happened to pop off 10 miles down the road for me. Madness. This is why I make the offerings and sacrifices to the gods that I do. Stuff like that.
I was gonna say it's for those, like, if you have never had or experienced like a trailer and you have no idea, like I have experience with trailers. I hate driving or pulling them, but yeah, it's wow. And also for those following at home, the other thing is, because you put on the emergency chains and you think, what is the point of this? This is exactly why. Basically, off the back of the shaft, there's 2 chains that you kind of cross and hook on as well, besides the actual latch. And you go, well, what's the point? This is the point. This is why.
They keep the
yours still chained.
It's something better than nothing. And I've had trailers pop off, like when I was going 5 miles an hour, pulling out, and I'd forgotten to hitch the trailer. But never 60 miles an hour at midnight.
Oh my God! Seriously, it's like, man,
it took a couple of years off my life.
It does seem your goatee does seem a little grayer.
The beard it's starting to center more. It used to be very off center, but it's filled in. Anyway, this is a call-in show. If anyone wants to try calling in again, 717-722-5999. Give us a call. It's getting warm. I'm going to turn on a fan. Hopefully it's not too loud.
No, it'll be fine. Otherwise, we'll just find something else to rail about.
What?
Otherwise, we'll just find something else to rail about.
Yeah.
Well, actually, so again, as a reminder for those in terms of upcoming events, don't forget
let's talk about upcoming events.
BPOC. Yeah, we got APOC and BPOC not happening this weekend, but next weekend, which is up in New Jersey. So again, APOC and BPOC is happening. And the last few years, it has trended where it is just stupidly like hot, where I think we've only lost a few nerfers because of like dying of heat. Right now in the Pacific, well, not Pacific, in the Northeast, it's not as hot. Now, we're still a week and a half away. That could change. But I tell you, if it was like a week and a half ago, yeah, bring a lot of water, bring more water than darts, because it would have been horrible. But yeah, APOC and BPOC are happening, and I'm pretty sure this Wednesday on Foam Zone, Andrew, aka Dart Sweep, will be having. I think he's going to have some people on from APOC and BPOC. Don't quote me on it, but most likely that's what's going to happen. Or at least they're trying to make that to line that up. But yeah, APOC and BPOC happening. I do not have a convention this year that falls on that weekend. Well, two reasons. One, that convention is this weekend, but it doesn't matter because I didn't get into it anyway, so it doesn't matter. Now, with my hip in a week and a half, I don't know if I can drive that far yet. So I will see, and depends what's going on. I might not be able to. But anyways, APOC and BPOC is happening.
Yeah. I've yet to ever attend an APOC or BPOC, or an Apocalypse for that matter. I've been invited, but haven't done it.
There isn't much you haven't been invited to.
This is true.
But then, yeah, and we got B&B Indoor Dart Arena. Yeah, Devin, you came on late. We opened the show and he railed about like how fantastic your show was. But that happens
it was a good
all
event.
the time. Yeah.
Good event. Miserable weather.
It's the South in the summer, man.
Oh, Lord. I spent probably a total of 10 minutes outside the whole time I was there, and that was too long. It was like somebody was stifling you with a pillow that just came out of the dryer while blasting a heat gun into it. And damp. Like if you put a sponge outside in the sun, it wouldn't dry out. If you put a dry sponge outside, it would probably soak up water.
Yet you still went. So testament to the worth of the show, of the event.
I'm sure it has. We got a caller. Someone's called the number. The number is 717-722-5999. Poke the button. We'll wait.
Hello?
Who are you? What do you want?
I'm Sam. I am.
Aha!
Sam!
Yeah, I came on just to say hi mainly. There's not much for me to say except I'm going to APOC and BPOC. If you haven't heard already, which you guys have, I'm very excited for it.
Awesome.
I haven't been doing a lot of nerfing because our local clubs just this summer alone has got postponed like 10 times because of the rain.
No.
Yeah.
So springers. Nerf in the rain.
Yeah, I always do springers, so I don't have much issues. But this Sunday I have a local, my club. We have an event since it's going to be nice out, so looking forward to that.
Awesome.
To get at least some practice in for the tournament, since I'm competing with my team Foam-Rain at the tournament at APOC.
That's what I was going to ask. Is there a tournament, and are you competing? And yes,
I am. I'm competing with my team Foam-Rain. Yep, and I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, I get more than just one game, like at Maryland Mayhem, since Maryland Mayhem was my first game, and all I heard was Sam, 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 and I'm like, what the heck do I do?
I tell you one thing, Sam. I don't think you should be allowed to play in tournaments because I don't think it's fair.
Give the other guys a chance.
I have a lot of experience, actually, and I'm actually really good.
No.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That I understand. No, here's the problem. He is good, but Sam right now is Sam is like an F-22 or an F-35. He has a very small radar.
No target area.
It's hard
to
hit Sam. If he's wearing his hat, that's probably your largest target, and he's good at what he does, and he moves fast. I don't think that's fair.
Well,
we should make him wear one of those sumo wrestler suits.
Yes, tell us.
Well, at MFT, I surprisingly took off my hat, so I didn't have my hat on. And
makes it even worse.
The first round, I actually did really good. But the second round, we're just going to pretend that didn't happen. But
all right, quickly, Sam. Tell us what blasters you're bringing. What are you going to bring?
What am I going to bring? Same blaster as last time, my Town Claw V4. I got it absolutely dialed in, and I can almost pinky prime it. So
nice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
You
awesome.
were like,
Quickly, who
you're
else is on?
You're gonna get your like ass whooped. And I'm like, I can pinky prime it, and she's 230.
That is just see.
That is
It's going to
fabulous.
be good, man.
I got off my lawn.
Yep. Okay, see ya. Bye.
Thanks, buddy. Have fun, man.
Talon
So that
Claw, that's that light to prime that hits 230. This is the baffling thing about how this hobby is how efficient we've made blasters. Used to be to get those kind of numbers, it had to be a prime that required a winch. Do you have another caller? Is that what I'm saying? Okay. Just blinking the number.
And you need a winch.
Yeah, I mean, I remember people like they were trying to get the blaster up to, to 220, and they put another $50 into the blaster, and they went to prime it, and the internals shattered, and they wasted all their money, and you're like, what are you doing, man?
Seriously.
Now we're over here going, how am I going to get this thing to hit under 150?
Yay, I've hit 100. Now it's like, man, dude, this is, wait, what do I do?
Atlas spring. Baffling.
There we go.
I need to get my Taloncock tuned. It got left primed at an event, and it's never been the same since.
No.
Send it back to Silver Fox and tell them to fix it. And to put a collapsing stock on it.
Yes.
What do we get? People apparently found production versions of the Brute in the stores that supposedly fixed the issues. Apparently the review blasters had issues. I don't watch other people's reviews.
I don't know either. Well, speaking of reviews, you know who came out with a review of a mammoth just recently?
Walcom? What?
We got a caller, then we'll come back to
it. A caller here at 717-722-5999. Baffling.
Hey guys, I'm Tommy from Tulsa. How you doing?
We've been called by a robot. We're doing good. Who are you?
Tommy from Tulsa. Remember the guy who sent you all those ultra rounds or the mega rounds?
Yes.
Well, you won't believe this, but I know of a single phone booth in Tulsa, and it took me a while to find some quarters, but I found this phone booth, and I'm on it right now.
Shut up.
Amazing. That would explain why the audio is atrocious, and I love
Take a
everything
selfie.
about it.
And
I love this
I don't know. I know I got 3 minutes, but for $1 I only get 2 minutes, so that's all I got, guys. I'm sorry, but.
No, that's fine. We'll give your minute to someone else.
Dude, take a selfie. Send that in. Yeah, I'll send you something. Buddy, well done, man.
In Tulsa still have. Yeah, I suppose they'd still have.
Hey man, that's well done. Anyways, you spent the quarter. Tell us something.
What's something that's obsolete in the hobby that you'd like to see come back?
Oh,
Titan rockets. They need to bring back Titans. I want more Titan rockets because
Mega
they're getting
XL,
hard
man.
to find.
Mega XL, more Mega XL things. The large grenades, I think that's also great.
Demolisher rockets. I want more because they finally settled their lawsuit with Lonnie Johnson. They can make compressed air blasters again. Give us Demolisher rocket blasters that are, LPA, like Titans, like the XBZs. Release a Demolisher that instead of being a HAMP is a proper pump up rocket launcher. That's what I want.
I like that.
He's still here.
Yep,
He might be.
All right, well, that's all I got for you guys. I appreciate you.
That's awesome.
Hey,
Thank
man.
you for calling
Well
in. Yes,
done, buddy.
send
That's
Al a
awesome.
selfie of that, and he will send you a blaster. He's a man.
That is amazing.
I'll take a stick, Ralph. So
Amazing.
I'll send you a selfie.
That is awesome.
Awesome. Yes, please. For something like that, we might even get other people to send you stuff.
That's fine.
Oh, it's a man behind the curtain. It's a
The
voice
man
from
behind
above.
the curtain's voice has been heard.
If he sends you that picture, let me know. I'll put it on the screen.
Actually,
If you're out there,
Put it in the chat right now. Send it put them where you can send it straight to you.
You can't put pictures in the chat.
Yeah, or just put
Go
it in
to
the chat.
Discord
That way he'll see it
somewhere, or send it directly to Al or me, and we can get it to the man behind the curtain.
Yep, in the Discord would be great if you can do that. That'd be great because then everyone has access to it.
It's fabulous.
That is, we got to think of other challenges like this. If you can send me, if you can call me, actually that'd be fun too. Unique places.
Yeah.
Like depending on where your city is, whatever city you live in or town, and like a unique place where it's like, my God, he wasn't kidding. He's calling me from on top of the arch in St. Louis.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be that hard, but you know what I mean. Something creative, and we'll send you something. If you can call us from a hot air balloon, we'll send you something.
Yeah, there we go. But seriously, I would love for them to release something like a Titan rocket again, because they are getting hard to find. Though I recently acquired an additional 6.
Titan
the last
rockets?
Bourse War. Titan rockets.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
somebody came to Bourse. They were selling their collection. One of the things they had was a box full of Titan rockets. A caller.
Is this another payphone?
I would love that. How many blast? You're going to be out of blasters by the end of the day. 717-722-5999. Hello, you're on Get Off My Lawn. Who are you?
Hello. Hi. Are you guys getting me? Hello.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
All right. This is my first time doing it. I tried to call
Hello?
earlier, but my reception was terrible. Hi.
Who are you? What do you want?
I'm just like, I'm Strongarm_11. Stupid YouTuber. Very weird Florida man. Yeah.
You made it.
I'm just popping in, just saying hi. How y'all doing? And telling you a cool story. So
Tell us.
I was on vacation. I was away from Florida, and then my mom was just like shopping at a thrift store. You know, always buying her clothes. Stopped by the toy section. She was like, "Hey Brian, do you want any of these Nerf guns?" She sends me a picture. Guess what they have?
The Titan rocket?
An
Ultimator. Nice.
Yeah. Rocket.
I know.
So,
I'm looking at them, and they're amazing. But we've got a fellow on the phone. So, did it have the rockets? Hello?
Beaten up. It does work. $6.
Nice.
Yes.
I got one along with the Titan rockets. It cost me $50. So you made off like a bandit.
I know. $6. Best deal in the freaking world. Actually, my mom was concerned. She was like, "This isn't Nerf. I thought it was Nerf for nothing. Why would you buy this?" I told them, "You gotta buy this. Please go on eBay and look up this Nerf gun. See how much it costs."
Yeah, they go for like
looked it up.
$200
and she was like,
on eBay.
Oh my God. I gotta buy this. And I was telling her, "Yeah, no, duh, you gotta buy this. I'm telling you, it's worth our collection. It'll like rise in value." And I already got some good stuff in my collection. Like I got a Sonic Stampede, Sonic Barrel Break. I got some good stuff. And now I got the Ultimators. So now my collection went from like $500 to maybe $510. I don't know. I got great stuff. Yeah.
That is awesome. Do you have rockets for it though?
No.
Oh.
I heard you make like custom rockets, right?
Oh, yeah,
Out of like pool noodles or something.
Yeah, just get a pool noodle and some craft foam, and you can make your own rockets.
All right, sounds good. Yep.
The trick is coring out the pool noodle, but it can be done.
Okay, so I can't just like the pool noodle. It's like the right inner diameter.
I don't. Yeah, most pool noodles are like a 3/4 of an inch, and the Ultimator is going to be much bigger than that. But there are ways to do it. There's actually a fellow who's working on making basically a kit to make your own Titan rockets, and the difference between a Titan rocket and an Ultimator rocket is like a 1/2 inch. So, there's possibilities. Now get off my lawn. We'll talk about it more once you're gone. Man behind the curtain, I sent you the pictures. to your. I sent them to Derek's Facebook. I can probably upload them to Discord now that I think about it. That would be easier. Discord.
Bro, this is an amazing phone booth.
Right?
This is an amazing phone booth.
I got to see this, man.
It is absolutely legit.
No, this is not a normal phone booth. Like when you picture phone
like
booth, you're thinking like
this is not the phone booth that Superman changes in. This is way better.
Yeah, dude. Congrats to this guy. Yeah, I am, man. We're hyping it up. Everybody's gonna be eager. This is crazy.
So for the record,
yeah,
my last experience with a phone book was in New York, a phone booth, and it was one of the half ones. And there was a guy who clearly had drank too much, stood in the phone booth, and there was no phone anymore. It was just like the post and the stand, and then started to relieve himself like it was a urinal. But then the phone booth only ended at his belly button. So, yeah, how not to use a phone booth. And his buddies were laughing at him. We left.
Yeah.
So this will be a much better experience than my last experience with a phone booth. Hold on, let's see.
Look at that. That's top notch right there.
Dude. Oh my God, man. Look at that.
I like that he included the proof of life.
Yeah.
You know what? That is, dude.
Because anyone could just Google a phone booth, but no, he proved it. That's amazing.
Without us even asking, he did it. That dude, man.
That is so cool. You're gonna have to get your address to Al. We'll send you stuff, man.
Just email your address. 50 cents. Oh my God, that is nuts.
I think that this is now a new tradition, and whoever can have the best of the week wins something.
Yep. If you can do some, I'm in on that one. Phone booth challenge. We are now issuing a phone booth challenge. Now, if you find me some jank phone booth and it's just like questionable about how easy that was, you might get stickers or like something better. But that for the win, especially on short notice.
Yeah. This is the bar you all have to clear.
Yeah, that's a blaster.
We'll accept slightly below, slightly above, but go for above.
Yes.
We will be the judge. And yeah.
Send Cap the address. He'll send it to me. Oh my God, I love it. The phone booth challenge. Here we go. And we got to find other interesting places.
We'll put it up there with the root beer challenge that I still have going. I need to make the video and post my spreadsheet so people know what root beers I hadn't had.
Yes.
But yes, if you mail me root beer, I will mail you buttons.
Have you made a new batch lately, or you still got the ones you made?
I've still got a few of the ones left over, though I did get to give some at New Jersey or Tennessee.
Nice.
Because somebody had Sprecher waiting for me in the fridge. Way more Sprecher than I could possibly drink in 8 hours. But it was still cold Sprecher just waiting for me. Yeah. Very cool. So Titan rockets. Yeah, I want more Titan rockets. So I got a box of 6 of them. The box originally had 7. Someone else beat me to the box. Luckily, it was Sergeant Deplorable, and he only wanted 1 of them. So he bought the whole box, kept 1, and then sold me the box for what he had paid for the box. So basically, he got a free Titan rocket out of it, and I got 6 Titan rockets for practically nothing.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yes! That's brilliant. They only had a little bit of damage. One of them, the head came off, but I was able to reglue the head. 2 of them were missing fins, but I have replacement fins. And then I had to build a new head for one. But I've got a process for that now that makes it real simple. So, yeah, they're getting harder and harder to find because some mook in the Pacific Northwest is hoarding them all. Anyone in the chat want to wager how much I have? Hazard a guess. How many Titan rockets do you think Captain Xavier has? More than 6, at least. No.
For those that don't know, the men behind the curtain are quietly guessing. I know you guys can't hear it, so that's who he's responding to, and not the voices in his head.
We're gonna sit here and wait for the lag, so it'll actually catch up to the chat, and people can start guessing. Ah, yeah, 35. That was years ago. Yeah, there you go. Call in and place your guess. First person to get it right,
gets a button.
Gets nothing. A crisp high five if we ever meet. You're not getting a Titan rocket is one thing you're definitely not getting.
No. Picture of. I'll send you a picture of.
Yes, Deplorable knows because he is the reason I have the current number. Because he is awesome. And yes, that would be cheating.
Well, actually, he'd be an easy one to give a button to.
This is true. Well, actually, he's currently exiled to Utah again, so...
Oh, that's true. Never mind.
The good news is someday when he is actually back again and we have a Borst weekend when he's here, he has offered graciously to be my rocket squire so I can run an all-Titan rocket loadout.
Nice.
General Strife, you've now gone a little too high.
Well...
What do you want to see? You wanted Mega XL. Yeah, more Mega XL.
Mega XL, because let's face it, it's always like, how long? When in terms of the ammo types, like the Mega XL is great, but luckily we have people like making facsimile ones, the AccuFakes. We got those are great. But like the Mega XL, why? Especially the Master Key background and the fact the 40mm shells that came out with the air, they're the perfect size for a grenade. And yet they're safe and they're fun. And you know what I mean? It is an excellent secondary ammo. It's like, no, don't be a blip. Please continue this. Keep making it. Never mind the other fun things that we can do with it. Like, come on, man. No.
Yes, Snorri also knows. He is, if you don't know, he's the crew's law speaker. We play Elite Dangerous together, and I told him, or at least, yeah, I'm not sure how long ago. It might not be accurate anymore.
Well, do we sweeten the pot?
Strife is getting so close. So close. What?
Do we sweeten the pot then? Well,
no.
Tell you what.
No, I like someone's suggestion. Whoever gets it right gets a bag of Streamline darts.
Well, the other thing is, depending how close they get, we can really sweeten the deal, is that sometimes we have access to open box products or products that you can't store on put on store shelves. So we might be able to acquire and ship a slightly damaged Dart Zone blaster. Well, the blaster's still fine. Do you think that's worth the guess?
I think General Strife has already made his guess. You don't get just to keep guessing numbers till you get it right. It has to be your first guess. That's how guessing works. Well, otherwise, you could just start at 1 and count up.
You know what? We brought it in late because if we set up from the beginning, different story. So how about we say 2 guesses? Because the people that already
he's at 7 guesses, so
he's out. You're out, brother. You're out.
Where's that 5? Maybe it's 5. People are dancing all around the number. Nobody's gotten it yet.
Or if they're gonna make this, they're gonna turn this into a mess. Then I'll just keep the blaster.
Way too low. Way too low.
You know what? You had actually you either mentioned it last week in a show or in one of your videos, because we talked about it, and I know it was somewhere online. It wasn't just me and you when we were discussing it, unless it was pre-show.
That number, the number you're thinking, almost certainly is before the 6 that I got at Borst.
So there we go.
Yeah.
If you remember that number plus 6, and if you suck at math, dude, go back to school.
Yeah.
Still, for the win, the phone booth guy for the win. Like that is just
right. That's just neat.
Come on, that was funny.
The fact that he was able to just walk over to a phone booth.
I know. They're not that common. And if you think we're kidding, next time you're out and about, try to find a phone booth. Try to find a phone booth, and you'd be surprised how few of them there are. Or no, like the only one in New York City I saw, some guy tried to use as a urinal, but it's only like the front half of it. So yeah.
No.
Yep.
Nobody's gotten it yet. You keep guessing. Yeah. Hey, stop that. Somebody already did, and that's too high, slightly too high. And 58 was slightly too low. So yeah. World Foam Alliance out here just cheating with the numbers, and they still haven't gotten it right. I'm going to ignore the World Foam Alliance, Chad. They're cheating.
Well, the other thing is, if he guesses before everyone else did, that's it.
I'm over. Narrowing it down for them. I'm creating the barrier.
Michael Nimrod has gotten it, but he also made multiple guesses.
Oh, dude.
60. I currently have 60 Titan rockets.
What does that even look like? Considering like one looks like this. You know what I mean? So 60. Yeah, that's a lot. 10.
Only by an order of magnitude.
Yeah. Well, we can say stuff. Did he go? Is he going to collect his things? He went to go collect things. In the meantime, as we're waiting to find out what Captain Xavier went to go wander off and do, then again, maybe he went to go find a urinal. But anyways, the point is, I'm sure he's looking for rockets. Don't forget to like and share. Don't forget to share and like. As always, the more people we get, the better it is, man. And again, it is a call-in show. The phone is active. Feel free to call in. We'd love to talk to you. The phone booth challenge for today has already been accepted and happened. And dude, that is cool. And we were probably going to do this again because that was fun. And again, it's during the show, being able to call in live from a phone booth. So that'd be good. Oh, there we go. We have bins and you got ones with different heads on them too, right? Look at that.
Yeah, so the 8 that are sitting here on the desk are ones that I had to replace the heads on. So I've got some that have a stress ball head, some that have the stress ball head with my logo on it, and a couple that are cone-shaped pool noodle heads because I haven't bothered to replace them with better heads yet. And then each of these totes holds 25? Yeah.
You don't need a rocket
24,
caddy.
25, and then there's 9 on the table. What?
You need deplorable to follow you in a golf cart with your darts.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a big old rucksack.
That's bigger than he is, just with Titan rockets.
I need to remember to bring the beanie.
The beanie? What do you mean the beanie? Remind me. Just to make sure it's not an actual toy that you're pulling off the wall.
The Squire beanie.
The Squire beanie. All right, tell people about the Squire beanie because they don't know what the Squire beanie is.
This is the beanie that I wear when I'm pretending to be a squire in my videos.
You let other people wear it?
Because it's hilarious.
But so back again to like the different darts and stuff like they make. I think larger caliber ammo, bringing them back, it's different, and if you do it right, it will catch and it'll sell.
Yeah, I mean, there's been lots of weird ammo in the past. The zombie strike arrows were an interesting concept. The downside is if they bounce and come back at you, you've got pointy plastic coming at your eye. Most places don't allow them for that reason. Zing arrows, those bows hit so hard you'd give people a concussion.
Yeah.
But then, back in the day, there were mega darts, and then there was streamlined darts, the mini darts. There was the old arrows, and then mini arrows. There were discs. There were reactor balls. Then it kind of got standardized to, elite darts, streamlined darts, the 50 caliber dart. There's been lots of different suction cup darts. Then Vortex came out, and that was a whole new ball of wax. Then Mega and Rival hit the field, and those have continued. Demolisher rockets. Obviously, there were the Titan rockets that only came in the 3 different flavors of Titan. Then Demolisher rockets, which are much smaller but still really, really cool. But there weren't any. They only ever had hamps for them because when those came out, they were in litigation with Lonnie Johnson, who had developed the Super Soaker, which is where the compressed air blasters like the Titan and that, the patent for those was Lonnie Johnson's, and he was trying to get his royalties out of Hasbro. And so while that was in litigation, they couldn't use his patent. And so that's why we started seeing hamps instead of blasters that actually use compressed air. But that litigation ended. They settled. He got his money. And so that's why we started to see a few compressed air blasters again. There was a barrel attachment that actually used compressed air, and then the Blitzfire, had that compressed air shotgun. So you're like, okay, so you can do this again. You can have proper compressed air, okay, give us a Demolisher rocket bazooka that uses this. That's all I want. But yes, by all means, call in at 717-722-5999, and we will give you more grief. Ivy wants me to talk about the pool noodle javelin quiver. So at the next Borst War, I'm planning to run 2 loadouts, possibly. I might save the Titan rocket loadout until Sergeant Deplorable gets back and he can be the rocket squire. But the other one is just a rucksack full of pool noodles. And the pool noodles we usually use for zombies when we play HVZ. The zombies get a pool noodle to make it easier to hit people. But I discovered that you can throw the noodles fairly well like javelins. They don't have great range or accuracy, but at close range, it's just fun and silly. But the bag acts like a very nice large shield. So that's what I plan to run. Bag of pool noodle javelins as a loadout. Just for the hilarity of it.
I think that's the name right there, bag of noodles. I like that.
I will assault them with my noodle bag. And since they are throwables, they do take out shields.
That is a very interesting twist on it, and that makes a lot of sense. Now, when you throw the noodle and it's on the ground, are people allowed to pick it up and then you swing it like a noodle?
I would absolutely allow it.
See? Now it gets even more interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, several people actually did try. Like, no, it works surprisingly well. Especially because once again, since its throwables count as heavy ammo in our group, it takes out shields, and if it hits your blaster, it still counts. So there's no blocking it.
No, you're done.
I
like that.
But I have to throw it. If I just swing it at you, then it counts as light ammo because swords can be stopped by shields and other swords, but javelins can't. So
Truth. I like that bag of noodles. I think why I like the name bag of noodles. Slight side note: when I was in London, man, it's almost been 9 years ago, and we were walking around. And it was a hot day. Had to find somewhere, and we found a hole in the wall pub, and ate there and drank there, and I loved it. It was great, but I love the names even better. It was called Bag of Nails. Bag of Nails, and I just that is, yeah. So I think that's why I like bag of noodles. Close enough. Same idea.
Yep. Michael Nimrod, to answer your question, you're in our group anyway. You're not allowed to throw anything that has a core. Oh no, Ivy answered it. So you can't throw Nerf melee weapons, like the swords and stuff, because they have a core. Now the Nerf throwables, like the zombie strike ones, the half brick and the football full of dynamite, those you can throw.
There we go. I do like, remember when we were up there, Ivy had the throwable hammers.
Yes.
Which are
again
fun.
No core, so that's allowable. But like, yeah, the wrench axe and the machete, those all have a core, so you can't throw them. But if you make your own custom coreless melee weapons, hypothetically, and we pass them, that's the thing is, we long since quit trying to be hyper specific in what is and isn't allowed, and we went very vague in what isn't and isn't allowed, but reserve the right to say no as moderators.
Yes.
Because otherwise you get people rules lawyering, and well, technically by the rules, and the rules say it has to be inspected by a moderator. Here's the basic idea: is your shield has to have foam around the edge. Don't even bother bringing it to us if it doesn't have foam around the edge. But if it happens to have a large metal spike in the middle, but has foam around the edge, we're gonna say no.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. I do actually want to make a loadout with the slice blades. I have quite a few of them now. There's more than a few of the zombie strike brain saw and crosscut saw that have had their blades removed to supplement my numbers.
Oh, really?
Because I'll find them at Goodwill for $2, and
What does it matter?
And yeah, you're like, the blade on the blaster is neat, but it does nothing. So I take the blade off and add it to my throwable blade collection.
I'm just counting up. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 13 brain saws.
Good Lord.
Well, when I stick them on sling fires and on the Strife Master Keys.
They look great because it's a chainsaw bayonet shotgun.
Yes.
Who doesn't want that?
Yes.
But I take the blades off of them. I've got a couple of them. And for a while there, they actually sold it as an attachment. It was a rail attachment that held 2 of them, and it came with 2 of the blades. And so the twin slice is what it was. And so, yeah, I've got a bunch of those. I think I've still got a few in box somewhere.
The twin slice I have, where is that? I have one of those, and that's somewhere. Anyways, yes, I have one, and it's somewhere over there. But I don't have a large container sitting on my property. So I am going to be downsizing. So a lot of my, like the old stuff that I collected in terms of that I'd master key or sell, I am probably going to be getting rid of. And what's happening is the Maryland Foam Alliance, every fall, they always participate in their local county fair. They set up a booth, man. And the fair is actually on the Southern Maryland House of Nerf playfield. It's the same place. It's the fairground. They always set up a couple of booths where they obviously advertise the club, what they do. They usually have a shooting range if dart zone is not there. And then also they sell all their like overstock blasters because they have a ton of it. And everything they make then goes back into the club. And so for a while, it's because many admins had huge collections. But at the same time, those start to dwindle and they'll accept donations. So instead of me hauling off a lot of my stuff to Goodwill, I'm probably going to I got too many rough cuts. I have vagabonds. I have other things where it's like, oh, I'm going to paint that one day. Really? Are you? Probably not. So a lot of it's going to go to that. And I feel better about it because then it gets sold. It gets reused. Never mind, all the proceeds go back into the Maryland Foam Alliance Club.
Nope. When I got into the hobby, I was doing volunteering for the WSU HVZ when we were doing the NPC stuff when we first got into it. I donated a whole bin full of cheap Goodwill blasters to their club that they then used to raise funds. So for $5, you got a blaster from the bin and a headband. Because you're not supposed to charge people to play HVZ, but your club can sell something. So, that was how they were able to raise some funds, and people got blasters. And there were at least at least two people that I can recall who bought like cheap Busby blasters out of the bin and made it to the final stand of a week and a half long HVZ. They're like, I'm there with, just all decked out with everything. And I look over and one of the people that's made it to the final stand has a Tech 6. You're like, all right.
Mobility, man. If you're mobile.
Another guy who made it I remember one guy made it to a final stand with 2 Mavericks that he tied a string to the back of each one and wrapped it around his neck so he could double prime them. So he could dual wield Mavericks.
Genius.
Brilliant.
Yep. Genius.
Yeah, we had to be more creative back then. Now, that's actually something that somebody brought up. How much has the hobby changed since I first got into it? I mean, my first blaster was a Stampede, a Barricade, and a Maverick. And a lot of people were still doing penny mods back when I got into it. And people getting taken out because you ran out of ammo or your blaster jammed was a much bigger problem back then. Now the blasters have become so reliable and we were able to pack hundreds of rounds. That's usually not what gets you tagged anymore. And as a result, they didn't have super zombies back when I played at U of I. They did at WSU, but they've gotten a lot more creative with the super zombies as a way to get humans tagged. And obviously, those were week and a half long games as opposed to day long games like you see at Maryland or, Survival Fest is a little bit longer, but most of the big HVZs, the invitationals, are a 1-day event. And that's a very different game than a week and a half long game. But it's interesting how things have changed and how the arms race has.
My God, yes.
Yeah, has affected things, and how zombies have to play differently, and moderators have to design games differently to compensate for the fact that we're all packing just inordinate amounts of ordnance, just ignorant amounts of firepower. But they do it. They manage.
It is, well, two things. Well, first, Builder BB, proof is HVZ is chaos. So yes. But at the same time, it's like, well, you just watch the new Foam News Collective every 2 weeks. And what does it seem like? Every 2 or 3 weeks, someone has designed something new.
Yes.
And so I love that our progression has gone like this. It's now becoming exponential, which is phenomenal.
I cannot keep track of all of the new blasters that are constantly getting designed. And it's always interesting to see, what the newest thing is. And it's always, you're always wondering, is somebody going to come out with something that's actually going to change the game? And everything that comes out does subtly change the game. But is there going to be something that changes the game as big as like half darts? I mean, when the Caliburn came out, that was game changing. All of a sudden it was,
my God,
yes, we had 200, 100 FPS, 200 FPS blasters that fired accurately. that was genuinely a game changer. And brushless blasters was probably another thing that, the FDL was also a huge leap in technology. Rival had an effect, but it got overtaken by other things.
Yeah. It'd almost be interesting.
I am looking forward. I've thrown the money at the Jericho. I just got to wait for it now.
It'll be fantastic. It'd be interesting. You set a timeline and you can almost set pins on it, where even like a graphic or otherwise, where it's like obviously Nerf blasters at first, and then like a key one would be like
End Strike,
which is huge.
Suddenly there were magazines that changed everything.
Yes. The Strife just becoming the single most sold blaster at any point after that.
Well, the Barricade was the first real flywheeler one that really changed things. But also, the Stampede was full auto. But the birth of Flywheel definitely was huge. We had Wall come on like first year that we did this, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, and I don't know if have we ever had Brett?
Not yet. No, wait, we did.
Did we?
I want to say we did. Someone scroll back through our lives and tell us if we did.
If not, we should again, because now I think he's in New Jersey, and we should find out how he's acclimating to the East Coast.
I think we had a lot of people on.
Yeah, the MagFed Barricade was fascinating because they gave us the Barricade, but it was 10 rounds. But we had drums already. We had 35 round drums at that point. We had 18 round stick mags at that point. What? Caller? What? Hello? No.
Clearing his throat.
And so it didn't take long for people to pull the magazine well off of either a Raider or a long shot stock or something and put a mag well on a Barricade. And a year later, the Strife comes out, which is just a magazine-fed Barricade. And the question is, had Nerf already made that leap and it was just their R&D cycle was long enough, or did they see us do that and go, oh, yeah, that's a much better idea. We should do that. Who knows?
It'd be interesting to do. I think something. So, yeah, there you go. No free blast for this one. But if someone wants to develop a timeline, we'll debate it. That'd be lovely.
I believe, I could be wrong, he might not have moved yet, he might not have moved at all, but the rumor was that Brett was going to move to New Jersey.
And if he's already there, that means there's a good chance he'll be at APOC, BPOC unless his weekend is busy.
Yeah.
Because it's New Jersey.
He's right there.
So you know what? Maybe we'll reach out and see if Brett wants to be on our show. Let's do it.
Yeah. Especially if he does go. We can get the rundown on BPOC or whatever.
And we'll get him to do it from a phone booth. So
yes. Or from a bathroom, because he did just do a video on the Skibbity Toilet Blaster.
There it is. Although we should put that challenge out there. If you could call us from a Doctor Who phone police box. That's the next one on the list. Although I'm pretty sure that you're not allowed to go into the police box, so that'd be the challenge.
Probably not.
No. Yeah.
Anyway, no. I need to do a video right after this on the new Pinty optics. So Pinty has been sending me optics forever and a day. But they recently sent me one that was a smiley face, which I then put on my smiley, because what else are you going to put it on?
It fits.
But they decided they wanted to do some more weird reticle red dot optics, but they weren't sure which ones they wanted to do. So they actually have a survey where they've got like 9 or so different reticle options. One that's similar to my logo, but not quite my logo. One that's like a radioactive symbol, which would be cool if you're doing, some kind of Afterworlds or Borderlands type thing, and you wanted your reticle to be a glowing radioactive symbol. That would just be neat.
That is very neat. I like that.
They also have it in a couple of different colors, including yellow. potential for yellow optics instead of red. I think they got red, blue, green, and yellow are the 4 color options. So I need to do a quick short to put that out. I posted it on Facebook and on YouTube, but I'm going to do a quick short on it. And then I will I've got 2 other things. An embargo has been potentially lifted or ignored. I'm not sure which. You know how Hasbro doesn't like me? And the only thing they've ever sent me was the Strife X, and that was because I assume Out of Darts offered them his 3rd-born child.
Probably.
I had a box arrive recently.
No. Are they not properly managing their mailing list, maybe? Or someone there is like, whatever, who is this? Or the fact that, oh my God. And are we sure that came from them? And was that maybe Maritime Phone just boxing up the one he did and sending it to you just to make you feel better?
No. So it did contain brand new inbox Nerf product, but it didn't contain blasters. It contained peripheral stuff, targets, to be specific. And it's a different company that develops that stuff for Hasbro, it turns out. They outsource the non-blaster stuff. And so they reached out to me. Why? I'm not sure if they're supposed to. I don't know. Maybe the blacklist is gone, or if they weren't given the blacklist, or if they ignored the blacklist. But it's neat to have gotten official Nerf product again, including iPro, snazzy iPro. Look at how cool that person looks.
That ain't too bad, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty. And well, I don't know if they're rated. I haven't opened it yet. But I assume they're Z78 or whatever the rating is. Is it on here anywhere? I kind of don't want to open it because it's snazzy. Blaster sold separately. If it is rated, I can't see it on here anywhere. Does have UV protection though. How about that? Anyway, some targets. An inflatable target, a rotating target, a motorized rotating target.
Oh, very cool.
And then a set of 3 pods that light up and make noises and change colors, and you're supposed to shoot them when they turn red, and they've got different game modes, and it's actually pretty neat.
So, well, then again, hasn't there been a turnover at Hasbro? So whoever was policing your list is no longer there anyway, so they have no idea.
Or maybe they decided I'm not so bad.
We know that.
Who knows?
We know that.
Oh, red, blue, yellow, and purple. Purple is the other reticle option they're now allowing. Oh. Yes, Wilder Toys is who sent me this stuff. Yes. WilderToys.com. What I told them that we need, because one thing they also did have that they showed was a chest rig, but it was almost, if not quite, the worst possible design for a chest rig I've ever seen in my life.
Because it comes up to your neck like this, or is it down by?
No, it had 2 elastic loops, so you could put 1 magazine on the rig, and then it had just a pouch that you could put darts in, but as soon as you bent over to pick up a dart, they're all gonna fall out. So it was just like, my dude, help me help you. So I said, like, no, chest rig is right. That you got right. We need chest rigs, but we need brightly colored chest rigs. We need them in orange and black and yellow, or in orange and blue. Those are the 2 color schemes that you need to go with. Yeah. And they need to fit either full-size Nerf magazines or half-dart magazines. Hasbro sells both, so you can get away with making dedicated half-dart magazines because Hasbro had them, and they'll fit Talon mags because they were just Talon mags. And my recommendation was make that panel be Velcro and sell a bunch of different attachments that Velcro onto it. Half-dart mags, full-dart mags, whatever. But if you can make good, brightly colored tactical gear, we will buy it.
Yes, we will.
Scared has made a whole bunch of it. They've given us bandoliers and belts and dump pouches. We still don't have good mag pouches. Other than 3D printed ones. And I don't want 3D printed mag pouches. I want cloth mag pouches. but I want them in orange, and nobody makes them. I've been tempted to just start making my own.
Yeah. Well, there are some, but nothing like where it's like, yeah.
So yeah, that was my advice to them is yes, look into tactical gear, because and the nice thing is if you make a pouch that will hold 2 full-size Nerf mags, it will hold 3 half-dart mags perfectly. So I mean, you could get away with just the one, but really make more. Yes. Foam-Mando does make tactical gear, and Scared is making more tactical gear, but we need more. And I want it available at Walmart.
Yes, he's not that big. I don't think he'll ever go.
Yeah.
Mando's been coming out with a lot of stuff recently. He's a super nice guy, and he's based out of Eastern Canada. And again, if you ever want to order stuff, find a way, message him, and he makes some great things. And it just keeps on advancing. But when you see him at events, I gotta have more time to sit there and pick apart, because his whole kit, because he's wearing everything, yet everything fits in the same place, and you almost kind of figure out, wait, how do we do this? How many different pieces do I need to look like this? Because it's different, it's tactical, but he tries different things with it, but it still makes sense and works.
Yeah, that's the beauty of a modular system. If you make it take Molly, you can reconfigure it infinitely. No, I don't have pictures. I'm not even sure I was supposed to mention it now that I think about it.
Uh-oh. Never happened. Nothing's going on here. Nothing to see here. Look over there.
But I don't have pictures, so I could just deny the whole thing.
It never happened. I don't know what you're talking about. It was in the phone booth.
Yeah. I have no picks for you. There are no picks.
No. So then again, for those following along at home, so again, you got APOC and BPOC coming up. Don't forget the RAG is coming up in October. I've had a bit of a curveball happen in the last few days. I am still going to try for RAG, but there might be a European trip next spring, which may affect what I'm spending money on.
Yeah.
So I shall see. It's still my goal, but it'll depend how it plays out in the next few months.
Don't rat me out.
It never happened, man. Look over there. Look away. Look away.
Nothing to see here.
Yes. Look away. Nothing's ever happened. But it should be good, because then again, also Maritime Foam. I do believe that he is going to attempt to go to RAG as well. So that'll be the first time he's gone out. I've never gone out. If the two of us go out, we may end up dragging one Captain Xavier with us, but it'll also depend on his schedule.
Yeah, because I wanted to say the Goucher event was that same weekend.
Yeah. So there's a couple of balls in the air.
Frankly, I'd rather go to Goucher than RAG, because RAG is cowboy themed this year, and I've done a cowboy themed HVZ.
We just did it 2 years ago, unfortunately, like at Mayhem. It just happened. So, here's the good thing about what our hobby is. So again, 4 or 5 years ago, what was the event? Endor, that's it.
Endor.
Now, are we going to complain that they happened on the same weekend?
See, there was Endor and Penn State. Penn State used to be the other big one.
Well,
now
before, it's like now, the fact that we're complaining that things are like, I can't make. Listen to us complain. They're happening on the same weekend. I can't make it to all the events. There's so many events. I can't pay for all this. This is the problem we want.
Yes,
and so
this is absolutely the problem we want. We want so many events. You have to pick which ones to go to.
Yes,
that is the dream, and we want it to that there's events everywhere, so that no matter where you live, there's one within reasonable travel distance of you. And a lot of that is just making making more events, but also making people aware of the events.
Yeah,
which is what we're here with the World Foam Alliance. It's what we're all about.
That's right. And if you find a large corporate sponsor that wants to send me and Cap to all these events and subsidize our living, that'd be great as well, and we will happily do that. In the meantime, we'll just try to go to the events we can afford.
We will also accept crash space in the form of cots in garages.
Yes. Clean spots, please. I'm getting too old, man. No cockroaches. At least give me a bug spray. Oh, this is awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting about to that time, man. And again, first of all, you and I should celebrate because after last week, we made it the full 2 hours, which is nice.
Yeah, we did it. We didn't get. I think I did leak something I wasn't supposed to leak. So there's that. Please don't tell anybody. You know it. You heard it here first, but don't tell anybody.
I think you hit your head and you're just making stuff up as we go along. So
we're gonna edit it out of the stream. There will be no evidence.
Or we quickly show a blaster. That way it gets taken down and it never happens. And this monstrosity. Oh, there goes the stream.
Oh no, they shut down our stream.
Not again.
Oh,
but yeah,
the worst.
Not again. Why does this keep happening? I don't know. It was the other guy's fault. But again, so celebrate that we made it through a stream again. As always, this Wednesday we will have Andrew, aka Dart Sweet. That will be on the Foam Zone most likely, although I am not confirmed yet, but I'm pretty sure he's going to have someone on from APOC and BPOC to talk about that event coming up, which is shortly. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. You know what? Maybe we'll get Brett on because it's time that we have Brett on.
We should reach out.
Because we did have him on for Foam's Giving. He was definitely on for that.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll probably do that and see if we can do it because we will be on again. Wait, I'm here. Yeah, I'm still good. In about 2 weeks, we will return with that show. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, man. Share the stream. The more people know about this, the more players we get, the more events happen, the more everything and anything happens, man. Don't be afraid to tell people, share it with people. You'd be surprised how many people are just sitting there waiting for you to tell them that this hobby exists. And all of a sudden they come back and say, oh my God, this is so cool. And I would love to do this. For example, I just made a set of shoulder pads for a minor celebrity in the music industry. I don't know who he is, and I checked with my nieces and nephews. None of them do. But anyways, he's got over about 700,000 followers on Instagram. Anyways, I made him shoulder pad, and I told him about this hobby, and his reaction was, I did one for my last album release. Do you know guys that set up events on the East Coast? So it's things like that where you never know who's going to respond and the positivity. And the more people that know, the more this becomes a thing and makes our lives better, bigger, and crazier. Anyways, with that said, Cap, do you have any final thoughts before we are out?
No, I think I've said enough.
He has said enough. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we shall see you next time. But in the meantime, do me a favor. Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. Good night.